Hello, folks. Thank you for joining me today. Let's lower this volume. There we go. All right. So this is Aliens After Ava. I hope some of you got to play the demo, and if not, the demo will be there. You can request access if you'd like to try out the other two levels that are going to be available before the release on December 1st. And hopefully there'll be a couple more features by then as well. Right now we are in my college dormitory. I'm still in college. This is my last semester. So bear with me, the posters in the space. I created this game here at Northeastern University with the help of a few friends for some stuff on the side, such as the voices that you're hearing, who are Ava. And it's been a blast, and I'm super excited to be here on the Steam Fest. This has been great. And let's just kick through it. Let's just run through the demo, the first level. Let's adjust some of the sound here. Every time I click away, it always goes out. Okay. Let's blast up some aliens, shall we? So here we go. This is the first level. So you are Ava. And you can do many things. You can jump, you can roll, you can get hit. All right. And I got my equipment here as well. We got our shield, so that'll help us block any trees as such. And wouldn't be an alien game without blasting through things. So the white bar, that's our energy bar. We want to keep that filled as we move up and down. So let's dodge some of these bad boys here. I'm gonna roll into this guy. Let's blast this one. Alright. Go. Oh. No. Shield that. Oof. You can also jump and move, or roll and move, however you see fit. Blast that. Oh no! Oh, this game is always really intense for me too. I've played this level thousands of times, but it's still pretty cool. Oh, what's this? Boss level. Let's go. Alright. So, you can also jump and shoot to fire higher shots. Alright, we got it. Jump into that. Let's see. Oh! Moved right in time. Alright. Let's see if I can maybe use it. No. Alright, let's go. Oh no, 2 lives! Alright, shield up. There we go. Okay, still roll under those. There we go. Alright. Oh, I keep missing. Okay. Oh no, he's mad. Alright. You can also play this with a controller, full controller support. So PlayStation controller, your Xbox controller, whatever you like. Especially stressful on stream here. All right. Oh boy. All right. Blast that. Jump again. All right. One more. Here we go. Is that it? Yes. Alright, glad I can still beat my own levels. Okay. And so that's the demo, that's the first level. And so currently there are 2 other levels, and I have a couple more planned that I still got to program and animate. And so once you play the demo, feel free to give me your feedback. I really appreciate it. I read every single one. You can always email me as well if you prefer, but let's go to the main menu here. Right. So that's Aliens After Ava. I'm really excited for the release on December 1st. Definitely check it out. And you're also here to see the behind the scenes and for me to blabber and talk about how much of a nerd I am and all the other people who helped me. So let's quit out of this. So first and foremost, this is the website. Just Google it, or you can go to AlejandroHervella.com. That's me. I'm Alejandro Hervella. And so I like to show the credits, acknowledge some people. So me, I programmed and did most of the design. I also did all the art, and I guess I managed the timeline, so you could call me the producer. And then Joe Barry, my mentor, he's great, and he helped me a lot with the design part of the game. Great guru. Sean Porio, who's a recent graduate from NYU. We built the sound system together, and he was also designed a lot of the sounds for me, including weapons and the backpack shaking that you hear. That was designed by Sean, and the rolling and the footsteps. I should have got water. And then Aishizana and Caitlin, they were the voice actors for Ava. So that was really fun recording those in the office we have downstairs in this residence hall. And of course, the music I got royalty free. I definitely will be crediting those people. But you can download the game directly here, or if you'd like to play test it or download the beta on Steam, that's fine. So yeah, when I was building this game, I started so I first decided to do this in November of last year. Sorry. And my program here at school at Northeastern University, here in Boston, in the United States, they allowed me to take time off in order to pursue this full time, while I still had my campus jobs and other responsibilities here as a full-time student. And so I reached out to Joe Barry, my good friend and mentor, who became a mentor for the project. He was like, "Great, let's do it." So first thing first was I had to look up a bunch of games in the genre that I was thinking of doing. I had an idea to do this game. I had already had a prototype in the past. So this was a really early prototype. I had put this together in a couple days just to see, or rather it was like a week or two, just to see what the game would look like and what it could feel like. And so originally you see this as horizontal because I was intending it to be a mobile game where you could swipe, because a lot of those games where there's runner games, those are swiping and rolling. So you can see the really basic animations, basic drawings. I was planning to have the terrain move more, but eventually that didn't come to pass. And picking up things, hopefully that'll be a feature later in the game. You'll be able to throw and whatnot. So that was cool. But it was just an idea, and I didn't have a ton of time for it. But once I got the go-ahead from my school to be able to do this full time, I was like, okay, let's do some research. So I played a bunch of runner games. It turns out there's a ton of runner games out there. And you've probably heard of them. Temple Run, Subway Surfer, Minion Rush, all these games that kind of work on this dodging aspect. And I thought, how could we make that better? There could probably be like some sort of shooting aspect, some sort of alien, something that is more than just dodging and rolling and collecting coins as they usually do. So I got to work on that, and that was really helpful. Then we started designing the timeline. So Joe was very helpful with this, and over here I can show you a more full picture. So this is a Gantt chart for those of you who do not know. It's very helpful if you have a team of people and you have a long timeline, but it's mainly just me, so it was just kind of a long cascading thing. And it's important to plan so that you can know how far you can go and how much you can build in a given amount of time. And I had about 6 months to do this. So we have the planning phase. I was gonna do some architecture planning for the code. And so here, we're going to be coding, we're going to be doing the first level, building the weapons, building the aliens, start working with Steam. Later I realized that I want to switch to Steam given the audience and how cool it would be to have it on the big screen using a controller. And it just seemed to fit. And so this is really helpful. This changed a lot throughout. And I will continue to use the Gantt chart as the months go on, as, fitting with my schedule. And so after that, or before that even, we were also working on what's called a game design document. So for those unfamiliar, again, we have all kinds of audiences here. A game design document is basically what outlines the entire game that you're working on. It's kind of like the blueprint that everyone can reference. It has all the details that you need to know about what parts of the game can you play as? What are the different levels? What are the different zones? All the sort of details that you can think of you put in this document. And it's really helpful to keep track. It's really helpful to communicate if you're trying to get feedback with someone. So you have everything from the story, menus. These have not come to life yet, but hopefully they will. That's why they're in red, and what else we have? We talk about hazards. We talk about other things that, again, didn't make it into the game, kind of time constraints, but hopefully they will. And we talk about the aliens. What are the aliens? What kind of names? What kind of aliens are we having here? So there were some that I scrapped. There were some aliens that I made even animations for, but we still haven't used them. And so we're going through this whole thing, and so this was extremely helpful for even the control mapping and just communicating that and being like, okay, this is what I'm going to follow and this is what we're going to work on. And so after that, we made the Gantt chart. Then we did the architecture planning. So this is a giant chart just to help me program. So here at Northeastern University, I'm a computer engineering major. So I've done programming before, nothing to this scale. And so this is really daunting. But I knew with planning and time that you could accomplish it. And before going to Northeastern, I used to go to the School of Visual Arts where I was an animation student. So I knew how to animate some stuff. So I figured, okay, we can do the art, do the programming as well. And I have this here bigger. So this is, I know this looks very intimidating, but you'll see this a lot in when people are building games or other software. And so, I had to figure out, okay, we're going to use, not to go too deep into programming, but all things related to the player and the camera, great. We're going to group those together. We're going to list out things inside those pieces of code that are helpful to me, and just kind of recognizing what is related to each other, what the hierarchy in terms of this is important and this part of the code will be based off other sections or other parts. And so as I was programming, I was constantly referencing this, constantly changing this, and this is really, really helpful. And so I was trying to put in best practices. Here are some doodles that we were making. So I was trying to wrap my head around some things. They're like, okay, how is this going to work? What are all the points? What are the lanes? Like, oof, this is a lot. And so drawings are great, even if they're very basic like this. And then, there was a lot of art, obviously, that went into it as well. So here, for example, these are some of the drawings that I did in my sketchbook here. And that's really the best way to start, is just to grab a piece of paper, grab pen and pencil, whatever you want, and just to start drawing. And you'll notice that a lot of the drawings, like they'll just be, some of them will work out, some of them will be bad. And then here, so here at school, I had access to a really great club. It was called the Wireless Club here at Northeastern University. And it's kind of like a ham radio club. I think it's like the electronics club here at school. But they were really generous to let me work there. They had a monitor there, so I'd go in kind of on the daily. They also had a lot of whiteboards, so here I would just kind of every day cross off something I finished. And then try to keep going, being like, should I do this? Should I do that? The one on the left here, I was planning, I was, again, short on time. It's crazy how fast the time runs out. And I was like, okay, I really need to work on these bosses. What would be the easiest thing? And so I was kind of designing that, trying to brainstorm, dumb things out of my head. And then as far as concept art, I have more over here. I know everyone loves looking at the art. So these were through the backpack. I inverted the image because I needed to figure out what it would look like white on black, because I know on my notebook, everything's black on white. It's really important to just keep drawing, keep trying new designs, see what works, and also to reference things that already exist, and then kind of work off those. So for example, these backpacks I had referenced from sci-fi movies, and I was thinking, okay, let's take that backpack. All right, that part is cool, that part's cool. How could I change it to kind of make it my own? And so here we're drawing more backpacks. And I think this is starting to be closer to the final design. And then here again, I was drawing the energy bars. I wasn't really sure what that was going to look like, what kind of feel. I drew a lot on my iPad, which I used the iPad to animate the whole thing, all the characters, everything. And so this was the little drone. The reason behind the drone. So you might have not even noticed it in the game because it's off to the side. But there's a drone that flies around here, and all the shots that you fire, all the weapons that you'll have in the game, they come from the drone. And you might have noticed too that in the original video clips here, our character would pick up items and then they would be carrying them. Let's see if I can show you where they're carrying it. Oh no, I died there. At some point in this video. But the point was, in the early prototype, when the character had weapons, they would be holding them, right? And they would be blasting them like you typically would show in a game. But given that I was doing 2D animation, if I had 5 different weapons, that means I would have to have 5 different animations for each arm. And that was going to take a long time. And so instead, as per suggestion by Joe, good friend, he said, why don't instead you have a little shooty drone that can fire all the projectiles, all the weapons that you would carry, and that way you don't have to do any more animations for the main character, Ava, and you get to have a cool drone on the side. So you'll notice on the your right side of the stream that you're watching, that is the drone that came up in the end. So I think that was, let's see if I can find it here. Might have not even been here. I might have iterated on more inside the game. And then I was also thinking of the main menus. So this is still the vertical layout. This is before I decided to switch to making it a computer game instead of a phone game. And again, this I just did kind of on my iPad, really rough. I think these are different versions, of the layouts. Just kind of playing around. This is on the other side. I was drawing some trees here because I knew there'd be some sort of bushes or some sort of enemies you could run into. I think I was on a plane when I was drawing these. No, I think I was on a bus. I was seeing a friend, something like that. But I figured, let's see what Ava looks like. And I knew the game was going to be in black and white, again, for not only because the style would be cool, and I've seen a couple games do that successfully, and the spooky nighttime kind of vibes, but it would also save time on animation because animation takes a long time. So here I did a bunch of hairstyles. Those were the ones I liked, and then we're trying to play with what the outfit would look like, what the hair would look like, and kind of the body. Here are a couple of drawings of the aliens that I was doing early on. These I drew during a meeting, that I remember. This one I liked. It is hard to come up with something that doesn't look exactly like a human, but also you could recognize as an alien. So we're doing that, some characters, some trees. And then here I was kind of iterating more. I wanted the aliens to be scary and kind of frighten you. Because that's the point of the horror game, the scary aspect, right? Here I was thinking of some names before coming up with the Aliens After Ava. And so that's just some of the concept art. And then in my notebook, there was a lot more. I think it's over here. Some people like looking at the concept art here. All right, so part of the red light. But there were some more drawings in terms of I was thinking at some point, what if you go into a giant alien worm and you go into their mouth and it's just you ride down and it's just I didn't have enough time because that takes a long time. But anything could happen in the future, Again, here are just some notes, just kind of brainstorming. It's all over the place. People that keep really clean notebooks during their thing, I could never do. I don't know how to do. I just kind of dumped my head on the pages. Let's see if there's anything else here. I was thinking of some of the tackling scenes that you'll see later in the game. Don't want to spoil those yet. Some menus maybe. It's Joe, my guru and my friend. He was really adamant in terms of you have to make sure that you think of a lot of ideas, you expand the ideas, you don't restrain yourself, and then slowly as you build the game, kind of compartmentalize and pick and choose whatever you thought was good over your brainstorming. And so that was really, really helpful in just kind of not being directly married to any given idea or concept. But I could go on about the drawings. Some animations. Let's look at some animations. People like animations. So this is one of the Adobe Animate softwares. This is what I learned to use over time at art school when I was still practicing animation. So we always start off with a really rough animation. So here I'll play it in slow motion. And yeah, it looks terrible, but that's what you have to do before you start to actually animate the full thing. So this was the run cycle, and let's see if we go here. So you have to have a lot of layers, a lot of folders, So here is the run cycle. So let's unhide these. So this is the final drawing, and so I literally just do it on top of the runner. Normally they'll match up. I'll show you in a different set of frames. But as you scrub through this, that becomes a cycle, and I can even cycle through it. Right. Let's see. All right. So let's cycle through that right there. So now if we hit enter, great. We have a run cycle. And so it's all 2D. None of the animation is actually 3D. And so here, for example, you'll see I kind of just did a guide to make it think like you're in a 3D environment. The environment is 3D, not to confuse, but all the animations, all the drawings are 2D. They're flat, and it's all an illusion. And so, for example, let's look at another one. Let's see. There was a sprinting animation. Oh, it's autosave. You have to autosave. There have been so many times this program has crashed on me, and I've lost so many hours of work. But you take a deep breath, and you get through it, and you just start again, and it's okay. The autosave takes a long time because there's a lot of files. All right, here we go. This one was painful. I even made a sprinting animation because there was going to be sprinting in the game, but later I decided not to. So that was a whole thing. And when you animate in pieces. So for example, we have, let's just isolate the backpack. The backpack and the straps. So I'll kind of try to see how the backpack movement is, right? Sometimes you have to stand up and be like, okay, what does it feel like when I have a backpack on? And then you say, okay, backpack's done. Let's do the rest of the body, or sometimes, I'd isolate the body here, like this. I know it looks a little weird with the inking. The ink always comes at the end, so this is what I would be working with usually. Something like this. And so I'd kind of be drawing the rest of the body around the guide. Sometimes in animation, this is what they call a second pass. And we have an animation for landing, right? So when the character lands, there's another one for jumping. And so all of this is extremely tedious. The animation took me over 2 weeks to do straight, every single day, just drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing. And so that's why whenever there were decisions in the game where I could reduce the animation, I would most likely take that decision because it takes a long time. And I also did all the animation for the aliens. And then here we can see there's more legacy stuff that I had worked on. Let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna put this in line. Whoa! Oh, these must have been trees and stuff. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and I would do some trees in here. Sometimes what I would often do is I would take those very drawings that I had here, for example. Let's go. This one. Let's see. Oh, I can't find it. But say I was doing some of these, right? I would literally take a picture with my phone. I'd import it in here, and I'd just trace over it and be like, cool, got my alien for one part where it got the bush or the tree or whatever it is. So that was the animation. And what else could we do? Let's get into some code here. So we can go here. So the game was made using the very common and very friendly Unity game engine. And so for those of you who don't know, so game engines for video games, they are basically the foundation of what you use to build everything on. Think of it as like the foundation of a house, or yeah, I think that's a good one. And basically, it just makes the process so much easier. A lot of the really crazy technical things that you would have to do from scratch, Unity can do for you, and then you build your whatever you need customized to your game on top of that. And so we're loading this. I didn't have it open while running the game because it's a very heavy program. I think I'm still running. Oh no, I'm close to it. So this is how I'd start my days when I was working on this. I would wake up, go to this this lab, and open Unity, stretch, check out the board, see what I need to check off still, and yeah, it was a really fun process. It was the time flew when I was working on all this. I can't believe this is all this here still. All that loads. I think it's always fun to also show how. So this is where I live. For anyone who's lost, let's slowly scroll out. Load. Okay, great. So this is Boston. This is the U.S. Scroll out some more for our friends around the world. Awesome. So this is the East Coast of the United States. Hooray! There's New York. And so if we scroll back in here, I like to point out where I live because based on my job here at school, I moved several times. So this is home for me. This is right here. This is where Northeastern University is. So this was great because the lab that I went to was right over here on the 5th floor of this building. And so when I started, I was working here for a couple months. So I'd go back and forth. And then this park over here in Fenway, this is a really great place to go walk. When I was having trouble thinking of something, I couldn't understand what I was doing, and I needed a break, this park would be awesome to go walk through. So thank you, park, or around school. Then from here, they moved me all the way to over here, so then I had to walk a little longer. And then from there, they moved me from this place, they moved me over here. So then I was in this building for a bit. And then they moved me back here. So that was very funny, just carrying all my equipment, my monitor, and my laptop everywhere, and thinking, wow, this game has been in a lot of places. But all right, so now we're gonna go to Unity here. All right, so you can see I was exporting last time I opened this for the Steam Fest, and so this is Unity. This is what this looks like. So again, not to go too deep into stuff, but I know when people see a new program, it's like, I get really scared when I see a new program. Like, I don't know what to click or do. But it's pretty simple, at least right now, what we're looking at. So this is the game over here. So this is what I see when we run the game. And so here, for example, we can go into 3D. Ooh. So here, this is the main menu, so this is going to be 2-dimensional. But we can go, or 3-dimensional. Yeah, the menu's going to be 2-dimensional. We're viewing it in 3 dimensions. Now we can go back in 2 dimensions. These are kind of all the objects in the game. So, for example, let's see, we could pick down here. So this is like the menu that we would program. So for the main menu, all the options you can have. So once you lock, for example, once you unlock the ability to choose what level you run, those will show, that's all done in code. And then this right down here, this is kind of what the player would see. So this is the camera, so to speak. So anything that I see in here, when I test run the game, that's what I would see when I would build the final version of the application. Then over here, the console. So whenever you get an error or you're trying to print a message just to make sure that something worked, that would load. I'm pointing at the screen. that would load right here. So that's really helpful. So whenever you see an error, you want to fix that error. Then over here, this is the project hierarchy. So these are all the project files. So I have a folder for animations. I have a folder for audio and sound effects. So there were a lot of sound effects here. A lot of these are called game objects. A lot of things to learn. And then whenever I click on anything, if I want to see what that thing is about, so say if this is the equivalent of people, say like I click on Jimmy, great, and then over here in what we call the inspector, it just tells me everything about Jimmy. So here I'd be like, oh, okay, the age of Jimmy, the height of Jimmy, okay, everything I need to know about Jimmy. Once I click on Jimmy, it'll show up right over here. So likewise, whenever I click on anything over here, there we go, now it's changing. It'll tell me everything I need to know about this sound file, about this music file, and yeah, Unity makes this really easy. And what's great about Unity too is that it's really fun and easy working with these menus into seeing just clicking around instead of coding, because coding takes a lot of time and it's hard to figure out what's going on and change things. And so when you're over here, it's a lot easier. So when you're programming, you can make things pop up over here, and it makes it a lot easier for me to work with. So a lot of times you'll see things. So all of these things that I made in the code, just so that I can work with, and it's easier. But anyways, let's run the game and let's see what happens. So we're gonna mute the audio. We're gonna play here. So whenever I want to test, I would hit this play button up here. Of course, if you want to learn how to do any of this, YouTube is your best friend. Anyone out there, if you want to make a game, you can make a game. As long as you have the drive, just go on YouTube and you'll find everything you need. I would go on YouTube all the time. All right, so here's our game. So I can stretch this to make it a little bigger. So right now, there's some stuff that's hiding, so you can't really see it when it plays a video. But let's run here. So this is the tutorial. I had already played the game previously when I demonstrated it, but if it's your first time playing, you're going to go through this tutorial. Really helpful to read it out. So that's great. So we can go through this. Great. When you're ready, let's play. So here on the right, you'll see that it's spitting out everything that I need to know. So these I made, oh, okay. Where did this message come from? Okay, great. So we're running. So now I'm going to pause the game right there. So this pause button will pause everything that's going on. Really helpful if you're trying to figure out what's going on. So right now we're viewing the game in 2 dimensions here. So let's click this button. And now we're in 3 dimensions. All right. So let's scroll in here. So you'll notice very slow. There we go. So everything is flat actually, and it looks like there might be trees, but it's actually really, really flat. So let's make this a little bigger over here. And there is no black sky background or anything like that. It's all illusions. And while it might seem like our character's running, they're just running in place. So first, let's make our character invincible. So this is a tool I made called the Developer Tools menu, and this helps me just program the game and skip things or make things certain ways so that I can just test stuff. So I'm going to make our character Ava invincible so that we're not falling everywhere all the time. So when I unplay this, you'll see that all of this, all the background is moving. Ava's not moving at all, even though it looks like she is. And so whenever something is past Ava, that object fades away. And in the back over here is where things generate. And so you'll notice, if I pause the game again, when something generates, it's tinted completely black. And so that makes it seem as though it's coming into view as you get closer to it. And so as you get closer and closer to this object, it fades out of darkness, out of the black tint, like these ones over here. This one doesn't fade because it's too far off to the side. But once you change the lane, it'll tint that. So here we go. Right, you see everything tinting. What's also really cool now is one of the things I want to do is to make the forest seem like it's infinite, and instead of making an infinite plane with tons of trees and stuff that would be really expensive for the computer to generate and run, what we can do is we can have only a couple trees and then make it look like there's an infinite amount of trees. And then when you change lanes, we can kind of do like a wraparound. So all the trees that were on this side will like move over here, and like things will move like this. So for example, if I unpause the game and I start moving left or right, the arrows, here we go. You'll see as things in the top over there, they'll start to slide over to the other side. And then likewise, if I come back, they'll start coming back the other way. But the player would never notice, and they would never know. Okay, here's a cool thing. So one thing that you have to do in video games is make sure that you get... so you have to make sure that the game knows, is there... Or rather, let's put it this way. How do we know things hit each other in a game? How do we know Ava will hit a bush? And so the way this is done in video games is through what people call collision detection. And so basically what the program does is it generates a box called the hitbox. And so everything has a hitbox. And if these two boxes collide or touch or go into each other, then that triggers a collision in the game. And so right now you don't see any of these. But if we go over here and go on this side, if we select a bunch of these, let's see. Oh, this one. There we go. Those are all the hitboxes. So there's a lot of them, and a bunch of them do different things. So, for example, let's just click on one. Let's go to our character, or rather, let's go to this bullet here. Oh, it's hard to fly around. So this is always really helpful for debugging. Okay, great. Here's our bullet. So let's select our bullet. So this bullet is traveling, so if I can step through here, this bullet is traveling towards our character. And when our character's box enters this bullet's box, code is activated. And so that code runs and it says, okay, was our character rolling? Great, if our character is rolling, then no problem. Bullet can keep going, we won't get hit. But say we weren't rolling. The game goes, oof, they weren't rolling, they should get hit. Then that'll trigger some other code, and then a character will get hit. And so right now, though, this bullet is not in our lane. And so if we look at Ava's hitbox, Ava has a very skinny hitbox for technical reasons. But this bullet is going to go right past us, and it's not going to hit our box. So if we select all of these boxes again, Ava is not in this bullet box. Ava is going to start to go into this. This is a perfect example. So this box right here. So the first box, this longer box, don't worry about this shorter one though, right here. As this goes towards Ava, it's going to hit Ava's box. Here we go. You'll notice that Ava will eventually get hit. So down here, we're looking down here. And oh, Ava's invincible. Okay, let's turn that off. I was like, what's going on? Alright, let's go here. Pause here. Alright, here we go. This log. This should hit Ava. And point of no return. Boom! There we go. Ava got hit. Oof. See all those plus flags. And so at that point, we stop the game. A bunch of things trigger. And that's what's taken care of in the code. And these trees are also really tall, in case you have very tall projectiles. And so that's basically how the game works. And so I've built a lot of tools to help me make this easier. And if you're wondering for those nerds of you out there, here's some code. Here's what some code looks like. And so there's a lot of code. You know, all of these are very customized to what we need. So, you know, we have folders for, let's see, what do we got here? We could do some audio stuff, right? So everything having to do with sound things. Here's a bunch of code for the sound. This would be a long live stream if I went through all of this. Yeah, even though it seems like it's a small game, there's a ton of code. So if you think about all those games that are huge out there, you know, most of the games on the Steam Fest are probably more dense and have a lot of features compared to the one that I made here. And so they probably have tons and tons and tons of code. And if you're curious to look through any of this code, it's actually online. You can go to my webpage online, and you can check that out and dive through the code yourself if you'd like. On this site right here, or it's on the site. Some I'll make it available now, but you can always feel free to go through that. And that's basically a wrap. And yeah, if you are ever interested in making a video game, you absolutely should do it. I think making games is so fun. You learn a lot. You can do so many different parts. You know, you can make the art, you can design, you can help people design, you can do some acting, you can do a lot of programming, and I think there's so much to learn, there's so much to do, and the community out there of people that love to make games, obviously you're all here on Steam, it's amazing, and you should really give it a shot. It doesn't matter how experienced you are, it doesn't matter how much you know or you think you know. If you want to do it, you can, and you can start small, and you know, work your way up from there. And yeah, that's basically it. So thank you guys for tuning in. If anyone has any questions in the chat, I'll be here for a bit, but I'll show off maybe the rest of the game. I'll play the full levels if you want to stick around. Yeah, otherwise, check out the other stuff on the Steam Fest. I think there's still a couple days, and mark your calendars for December 1st when the official game will release. We'll do another live stream, and we'll show off all the features. But other than that, that's it. So let's play the game here. So I'm going to go here in my files, which you can't see. Right. And we're going to go to my builds. Great. And first thing, I have to delete my save file so that we can start from the beginning. That'll be a feature in the new one once we get there. Someone says, yo, December 1st release. That's right. Yeah, December 1st release. Let's delete that. There we go. And yeah, feel free to check out my site. I have a couple other projects if you want. I always have a hard time showing off. So this is very new to me. This is my first live stream. So you guys have been cool. Thanks, DD, man. I hope it does look cool. Oh, where did I go? There we are. Hey, what's up? Alright, let's click back on the game. You know what? I'm going to use my controller this time. It's my favorite way of playing the game. My handy dandy PlayStation controller. There we go. There goes the game. This controller is funny because, oh, this is the wrong thing. Where the heck is the game? Is it over here? No, is it in my bag? Let's see, it's in my bag. You know, when you work with a lot of cables, a lot of times, you lose the cables. Alright. guess the cable's not here, so I'll just play with them. The reason I need a cable, I know a lot of everyone's saying, but Alejandro, it's PlayStation 4 controller. Let's see. The red on black Unity NE logo looks great. Thank you. Yeah, I did my best. But yeah, the battery's dead on this, so I always have to connect it with the cable. But let's run. Let's do that first level again, for those of you who missed it. Let me double check my volumes here. Excellent, we're doing great. So next. So yeah, hopefully this tutorial will be even better once we release. So let's go ahead. I definitely know how to play my game. I've played this so many times. But that's what you gotta do. You gotta play it a bunch. Survive. Go. Can you hear my keyboard? Let's lower the volume a bit. There we go. Jump. So, in this game, every time you successfully dodge or jump over an object, you're rewarded with your plutonium, your energy down there. Oof. Alright. Yeah. My advice for playing the game is, you'll notice a lot of people like shifting lanes and like trying to like do some crazy dodges. But if you actually try to focus on your own lane and use your abilities, the key is using your abilities, like this. Then you'll do fine. So our shield blocks all bullets. Ooh, that was close. Let's jump up. Alright. This guy again. Alright, I think I know how to beat him faster. So this is the speed run. The easiest way to beat this is just stay in place, try to dodge those bullets, and shoot. When you're making the game, whatever game that you're working on, it's super important to continuously play and test it out, just to see how things are working. But what ends up happening is that you end up playing your own game hundreds and hundreds of times, and you kind of lose that first impression. And so what ends up happening is you need other people to play it, and you have to watch them play it, and you have to listen to their feedback, because it's the first time that they're playing it. And that was really important for making the game better and making the controls feel better. Alright. Got him. Scary music. Alright. Grappling hook. This is really cool. So, you fire the grappling hook, you're gonna take down some aliens. Okay, sweet. Alright, and when you enter when you start to go into the takedown thing, we're gonna need to press these buttons in this order. It's gonna be like a quick time event. And if we're too slow, well, we're gonna I don't know if I should curse on the stream, but we're gonna get hurt. Alright. And likewise, if they chase us and they tackle us, well, we're in trouble. Swamp area. Let's go. Boom. Starting off strong. Alright. So now we have our grappling hook there on the left. Let's try it out on this guy. Let's see if I get it. Up, left, up, or right. Okay. I did it right. Just to show you though. Oh. Oof. Alright. I'll show you what happens if we miss though. There I hit a button incorrectly. So we won't get hurt, but you won't get the energy. You get plutonium if you successfully take down that alien. Oh, we got our sprinters here. Alright. Okay. Alright. Doing right. Woo, you can roll into them. That was close. Alright, I got hit. Up. I couldn't see. There we go. Alright. It's fine. It's fine. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna shield up. Just in case. Oh, and just to show. Whoa, that was a lot of aliens. So in this version of the game, I hadn't put in the health bar yet. I have to download the other version if I want to show you guys. But that's mainly the only difference. So normally you see your health bar down. But I was like, where's my health bar? But I'm pretty good at this game. I don't even need my health bar. Oh shit. Oh, there we go. I said it. Alright, there we go. Roll. You can roll all you want in this game, which is awesome. So, the levels will definitely be harder in the future. But we're trying to build you up. Again, this is really easy for me. I've played this hundreds of times. Oh, shoot. Forgot. Okay, up. There we go. Great. Those voices you hear, those are my friends who did the voice acting. Great job. Oof, okay. So we need to grapple into this boss. So we gotta wait for this timing. Here it comes. Alright. Got it. Awesome. Fun fact about this boss is if you shoot and time the bullet right, you can hit the boss. It won't deal as much damage as the grappling hook, but it'll still hurt them. Oh, I hit the button on my keyboard. So sometimes you can do a double combo like that. All right. Oh, scary. If you think this game is scary, good. That's the point. We're trying to spook you out. All right. Here we go. Great. So now I think we're gonna get more enemies here. Oh, yeah, it's faster. Got it. All right. All right. Nailed it. Is that it? Got him. Okay. Love that soundtrack. Yeah, if you ever need free music, there's a lot of royalty-free music online. Don't necessarily have to make yourself. Save yourself some time. Yeah. All right, we got our atom cannon. This is my favorite weapon, and my favorite music, actually. All right, here we go. So these cars, you know what? I'll pause and I'll show you the drawing here. If I can find it. Let's see where it is. I forget which direction this might be facing. Oh, shoot. I unpaused the game. Just to show you how you can really just take a drawing and kind of import it. God, there's so many here. Might have been the other. Oh, it might have been my other notebook. Because we run out of pages here quickly when we're drawing. Let's see. Yeah, it was right here. Sorry about that. So I think I showed these before, but these cars are exactly what you're seeing in the game. This one and this one right here. And this bench you also see. I think I did that tree. This fence you'll see, that radiation sign, that's right there. So if you can just draw it out, just scan it in, save yourself some time, and then draw over it. All right, here we go. You suck at this game. Some of my friends have been, for fun, we'll be testing the game. And one of my friends will cruise through it. I'll be like, all right, you think that's easy? So I turn up the dial on everything. And some people are crazy good at this game, way better than me. So that's really, really funny. Ah, what was that noise? That happened earlier. I don't know what that was. It's so loud. Sorry about that. Anyways. Here we are. What was that loud beep? I don't know what that was. Maybe it's like a timer thing? I don't really know. But sorry about the loud noises. Alright. No aliens yet. I'm gonna show off this atom cannon now, right? So you can plow your way through all this stuff. Right. Oh, there might have been a bug in this one where the aliens don't show up. I think that might have been another thing that I had fixed. Interesting. Alright, so we've been running for a while. So let's exit out of this. This is why we test our games. You know what I can do actually? I can show you the boss inside the game here. That'd actually be really cool. So the last level here. So let's undo this here. And so this is a great example. For example, if I wanted to go in and test our final boss, what I would do is first start to go to our current level counter. Current zone rather. I needed a zone. Like Frozone from The Incredibles. Alright, so the starting value, that's 1. So that means we're on level 1, so we're going to change that to level 3. There's only 3 levels right now, so the max value is 3. This long number, that's like the lowest number it can be. So we just set it that. And then we're going to go over here. I'm going to change the scene. So we're going to open up the environment scene. Here we go. So this is, I would stare at this a lot before testing. We're going to uncheck the demo mode. Let's play it here. And then we're going to unmute the audio. And I'll play it in this little space here so you can check out what's going on in 3D. It'll be cool. And then we can see if we get any errors. Oh yeah, we did get an error. That's because it's not connected to Steam. That's fine. Alright. There we go. So here now we have our health bars, which is great. The game's a lot faster. So, destroy this car. Let's use this. Oh, we have to unlock all our abilities. So let's do that. All armaments available. So I'm going to do that for myself, just from how the game is configured. So now, I should be able to use... Oh, I have to change some other stuff, but no requirements for armaments. Let's try that. There we go. So I'm kind of cheating. I'm giving myself unlimited energy. So this is helpful for testing the game, because if I want to just like, say I needed to defeat a boss really quickly, I would just go spam that, and then I could just... Oh my gosh, why does that happen? Oh, the beep? That's so loud. It might happen when it's clipping the noise. We'll see. Alright, so we're playing. So yeah, by now you should be sweating playing this. boss. There we go. So this boss is really cool. So, oh, you can't even, I wasn't even showing you guys too well. Oh, here we go. So you can see all the lasers. I'm gonna make myself invincible for a second. So this is really cool. Designing this, and it's really difficult to get all this to work and to shoot laser beams. Alright, we're gonna try to play this now. Deactivate those. Try and do it. Yeah, these lasers though you can roll under, which is really helpful. So got the one. So you can like spam the roll. Alright, here we go. Oh no. I kind of cheated because I don't have to use the plutonium. Cheating at my own game. Definitely should be doing that. Oh, we need one more hit. There we go. Oh, 2 more hits. But yeah, so my advice: just spam the roll. I'm trying to speedrun this. And then use your shield as well, and then move around. Oh shit! Did not last that. Well, I think I hit something. Boom! Got him. Still need to make a falling animation for that. Great, and then from there it should take you to the level select. There you go. So you hit next. I unchecked something so it didn't show. But great, so now we have the level select, so then you go here and then you can select those levels you want to run. Let's see if it's still working in this. Alright, it did work. Cool. Here's the chip. But yeah, so those are the 3 levels that we got going. In the upcoming December release, I'm going to try to have like a boss mode. So you'll be timed and you'll be having to run through all the bosses. And so at the end you'll get like a time, and maybe that'll be fun to speedrun to see how fast people can do it in the community. Then there's also going to be an infinite running mode, so you'll be able to select a level and you can run it infinitely and kind of get a high score. Obviously the level will get harder and harder as you go, so you'll eventually die, but you can see how far you go. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of cool things. So that is definitely all I have to show. So thanks again for sticking around, and this has been super fun. If you have any questions, if you ever want to reach out to me, send me a message on Instagram or email me. I've already gotten a cool email, which is cool to hear from people. And yeah, this will also be posted to YouTube, so hi YouTube. But until then, thanks for sticking around, and go play some other games at the Steam Fest. Catch you guys soon.